What's happening, guys? This is James Blonde with MMOHuts.com with a quick weekly recap for MMO news and announcements for the week ending February 24th, 2014. And this past week wasn't exactly packed with news, but our first bit of news for this week has to do with a recent redesign in PlanetSide 2. Last week, SOE announced the completion of the optimization and revamp of Amerish. Some of these new updates include new base layouts and the implementation of the lattice system, which includes repositioning of outposts and roads to optimize map flow. Now, what a lot of PlanetSide 2 fans should be excited about are the performance optimizations they put into place. They've changed up the number of unique objects, overall object count, and polygons per object. Not to mention 9 new outposts have been added in to fill the voids in the play space, which goes along with the lattice system, while original outposts have been optimized to create infantry play spaces, reduce spawn camping, and still increase room for vehicle battles. So much has changed, and the new trailer here shows a lot of it. It's a nice size update for PlanetSide 2. Next up, Marvel Heroes gets a new update that introduces a brand new game mode. Update 2.3, also known as Training Day, debuts the new Shield HoloSim game mode, where players progress through hordes of enemies while completing specific objectives and defeating iconic villains in order to continue to the next wave. The further the players progress, the harder the challenge, the bigger the reward. This new update also issues a comprehensive design review for Daredevil.
Time to get to work.
It overhauls the way his skills and combos work. Now, there's no video out for this one yet. It's a medium-sized update. Check out the post at MMOHuts.com for more details. And speaking of revamps and overhauls, SMITE decided that last week was a great time to revise Agni, the god of fire. And as a result, Agni now has a brand new model, animations, 2D art, and effects. Honestly, besides that, they didn't really plan to change much. His skills are exactly the same except for the delay added to his ulti and a timer indicating when your next meteor becomes available. The biggest difference overall, besides the better looking model, is definitely the animations. The walking animations, to be specific. He no longer looks as if he's doing the moonwalk down the lane. Much improved. Also last week, Gaijin Entertainment announced that an official international championship is taking place in War Thunder. The championship is called Gladiators WT 4x4 and has more than $28,000 in prize money. The esports tournament will run from now until the end of March, and in addition to the in-game prizes, winners will get powerful gaming laptops, video cards, and tablets from MSI, which is the official sponsor for the tournament. And overall, this championship consists of 310 teams comprised of more than 1,800 pilots representing more than 30 countries, making it a pretty interesting tournament to watch live. Next up, a new minigame makes its way to RuneScape 3. The new multiplayer minigame called Heist has players from 2 teams, the Robbers and the Guards, up against each other in a contest of espionage and deception. In this, players can decide to disguise themselves to make off with loot or unmask sneaky crooks to restore justice. Crooks will then have to make their escape across procedurally generated environments themed after iconic RuneScape locations. And the best robbers will be able to mimic the citizens to fool the guards, while the most successful guards will be the ones who can spot sneaky behavior from a mile away. This actually sounds like a really fun minigame. Check out the latest behind the scenes video and you'll see exactly what I mean. Today marks the last day of the Mighty Quest for Epic Loot's closed beta, so if you're one of the unlucky few that still haven't experienced the game, your wait is finally over. The most recent update, also the final update for now, included the introduction of the new defense mode, lootable mines, completely different hero progressions, and the plans for the game's monetization system. Now, if you've been in the game this whole time, on the other hand, you get a reward. All alpha and closed beta testers will receive an exclusive pet called Nuggles, an exclusive costume, the chicken hat, and of course, an exclusive profile picture of a chicken. These guys really like chickens, and they hope you do too. The new defense mode changes are definitely massive, making it possible for players to put as many creatures and traps in one area as they want. The only catch is you have to beat your own castle first to get it set up live. On the other side of things, Open Beta has its own plans. 2 of the first add-ons during this phase are crafting and chapters. Crafting is pretty self-explanatory, but chapters, on the other hand, will begin telling the story of Opulencia, and each chapter will be a limited time event that gives players individual and common goals while at the same time tying into the storyline of the game. Oh, and I also have a feeling it won't be long before we see the new hero. As of one of the recent patches, I've seen a lot of exclusive loot to the Runaway. Not sure if this was a mistake or a teaser. The latest patch for Tera launched quietly last week, but came with some pretty major changes inside. This new patch included the introduction of 6 solo dungeons to leveling zones with multiple competition routes and short cooldown timers, along with bind-on pickup weapon smart box drops in Wonderholm and new inventory filters. Tons of additional changes were made in this update. I'm really surprised they didn't release a new trailer, but either way, we've got more details provided in the link below. Next up, in last week's recap, I mentioned Snail Games announcing its alpha test drive for Black Gold Online, but we didn't have a date. Well, now we have a date. The alpha test drive will take place on March 20th by invitation only. Now, a lot of these were given out at last year's E3 along with a few giveaways on their Facebook page. Now, they do have, however, an extra chance at alpha access to the game via questionnaire survey, which I've linked in the description below. But the alpha itself will include 8 playable classes from 4 of the races divided between the 2 factions in the game. Players will have access to some of the major features in the game, including PvP, vehicles of war, immersive dungeons, and of course multi-dimensional warfare. I think those things will keep alpha testers busy for a little while, and hopefully it doesn't take too long before we see a more public beta, because you know we're going to have keys for you guys to get in. Well, like I said in the beginning, not much news this week, but we do have an update on ArcheAge for you. As of this past Saturday the 22nd, ArcheAge kicked off its open beta in Russia. Good news there is that there's no IP block. The bad news, however, you do need a Russian email address to get in. It's taken them a while to get the game this far, and unfortunately there still isn't any dates for US beta or even Europe for that matter. However, Tryon Worlds recently posted a discussion about their recent visit to Seoul to check up on updates that they may or may not be bringing overseas for the North American localized version of the game. And they're also planning to meet up with press and other game developers at GDC San Francisco next month, so we'll just have to see what they have planned for us then. Fingers crossed. And finally, I just wanted to say thanks to everyone who stopped by the live stream last week. I had a blast learning some EverQuest Next Landmark with you guys. We decided to start live streaming games every Friday now from 10 a.m. to 4-ish Pacific Standard Time. I'll be showing off all kinds of free-to-play games, hopefully getting in and playing with you guys. Later on, we plan to have some stream giveaways, and yeah, we can just hang out and have fun. So every Friday, stop by twitch.tv/JamesBlonde and come and hang out. But other than that, guys, that's about it for a short week of MMO news and announcements. If you're looking for more information about the news topics this week, check the links below or head over to MMOHuts.com/news. Feel free to discuss the news in the comments below or head over to MMOHuts.com/forums. Until next time, guys, that's going to be it for me. I'm James Blonde. See you out there, gamers. It's a sacrificial chamber. Exactly.